Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Founder Fit podcast. And what we are here to do is we're here to solve your problems when it comes to business. As business owners, as entrepreneurs, we are faced with many challenges and problems. And today we're going to talk about something that should be showing up every single day in your life. And we're going to be talking about discomfort. And discomfort is not a bad thing. And today we're going to break it down because discomfort is the sign that you are growing. It is the sign that you are doing the things needed to move your business in the direction you want it to head. But so many business owners, so many entrepreneurs take discomfort as a warning sign, as a danger sign, and they shy away from it. And this is the thing that is ultimately destroying their progress and destroying their business. So we're going to dive into it today. And if you're the first time to the podcast show, my name is Damien and I got Scott to the left of me, and we're going to have a great conversation today. We're going to talk about this, and by the end of it, right, you should be absolutely looking forward to all of the discomfort and uncomfortable things in your life, because that is truly where the growth is. So it's going to be a great one, guys. Let's dive into it.
Let's do this. So if you're watching this, if you are feeling overwhelmed, you're stuck, you're plateauing, you're not moving forward, you're feeling like your business is just not going in the direction, or you're not getting the results that you set out in the first place. A lot of entrepreneurs start off in business super optimistic. I've got this brand new logo, I've got this new website, it's really exciting. I had 3 or 4 of my friends buy it and whatever it is. But you're a year in, you're 2 years in, and you're really feeling the pressure of this isn't moving as fast as I thought. I'm not getting the results that I thought I was going to get. I've definitely been there. I think every entrepreneur has been there, and it's not uncommon. But what it's actually a sign of is that you're not facing the discomfort in your business. You're not facing those problems that are holding you back. And that ultimately is what we're going to go through today. That's the idea behind this. That's the idea behind this podcast, is that we want to have those conversations that a lot of people don't have. We want to talk about, the real stuff. Because, all right, what do people like to talk about? The shiny things, the new marketing, the new, coach, the new, thing that they got, whatever it may be, the new, I laugh because we've all done this, but I just got I just got this new signage, or I just got my car, my company car. I got all these logos all over it, and I spent all this money on this. And we essentially do the comfortable and the fluffy and the enjoyable things. And we get to a point where there's none of those left to do. We wake up every day and we just go to what's comfortable. We go to what's enjoyable. We go to the meeting with the person that we know and have the coffee, and we get the signage on our car, and we buy the new car, and we get the new laptop, and we get the new suit, and we get the outfit, and we do all these, again, comfortable things that just absolutely do not serve you. And what we avoid is the discomfort, the uncomfortable things, and they are the things that are actually going to move you forward. So we're going to go over that today.
Yeah, huge. Now, as you're saying all that, I totally relate, and every single person should as well, because we also, that's the fun thing about business, is all the comfortable things. We like getting the new coffee machine, getting the signage, as you said, we've all been there. But these things, again, they eventually, they cost us money, right, to do all those things, and then eventually it's like, well, how are we funding all of this, right? And that will come from doing the uncomfortable things. Now, what I want to talk about here is, when it comes to discomfort, now, let's look at like a workout. So if you hit the gym and you go to the gym, you should be able to relate. Is a good workout one that was super easy, super comfortable? Absolutely not. You should have answered that as a no, by the way. So the great workouts are the ones where, you stress, you sweat, it gets hard, it gets uncomfortable. But that's the one that actually creates change, creates adaptation. It makes you become fitter or stronger so you can handle that task again. That's exactly how we got to look at our business. Right now, you need to become a stronger operator, a stronger business owner. And the only way you can build that muscle is by doing uncomfortable and challenging things. You got to challenge your mindset. You got to challenge your beliefs. You got to challenge your capabilities. If you want to grow, And as we always say, if you're not growing, you are dying. And that's just a reality, because nothing stays still. So if you want to continue to stay in business, you got to be growing, and you got to lean into discomfort. Now, why people have this, bad relationship with discomfort is because sometimes they misread it as danger. They misread it as, burnout. They misread it as, it's bad for me, or I can't keep this up. Or, really it's like, it's probably just a low tolerance, right? To a little bit of pain, to a little bit of uncomfortableness. Because learning something new is confusing. It's uncomfortable, but that's the whole point. If it wasn't confusing or hard to understand, then you would already know it. And if you already know it, then that means you're comfortable, but that means that you're going to keep getting the same result. So again, growth, progress always comes from the discomfort. Now, something that I've learned, and when you look at, again, very successful people in business, in sport, in anything, is they learn to love it as well, by the way. They learn to really have a great relationship with it. So those people who are great sports stars can just tolerate it for longer periods of time, because when the pain comes or their body's aching, they don't shy away. They don't use that as a sign as to stop and slow down. They actually go, ooh, this is where now the growth happens. I think Muhammad Ali has a really famous quote. He goes, I only start counting the reps when it starts hurting. Because everything up until that point is you're just participating. Now, when it hurts and when it gets hard, that's where, growth comes from. So again, don't mistake discomfort. Actually, you should be putting yourself into situations every single day that get you a little bit uncomfortable. And like Scott was saying, it is so easy, and I've done this, but I've changed this, right? Through my habits, is I would do every single comfortable task that I could think of. And once I'd done all that, now I'm just like, oh, I'm just going to clean the kitchen. I'm going to go wash my car. And I'm going to, I just kept going into the comfortable things, and I just kept avoiding the hard task. And we all know this. As soon as you do the hard task, you do it, and it actually didn't take that long, and it wasn't actually that bad. And you're like, I can't believe I just didn't do this sooner. And the stress and anxiety, all the rest that comes with it. And then you get, your business starts growing. You feel like you're progressing again. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Absolutely. Again, I have been in this game for so long now. I have done it myself. I've coached so many people. I've worked with so many people. I've employed so many people. It's incredibly obvious that if you are not moving forward in your business, it is because you are avoiding the hard tasks. It's as simple as that. And there's many reasons behind that. Again, that's for another episode, and I'm sure we've discussed it on many others. So go through our other episodes. But that's ultimately what it comes down to, because again, success isn't reserved for the special few. Anyone can have it. And you notice that if you study successful people, they come from all areas of life, all areas of background, race, color, education, location, ethnicity, religion. Anyone can have it. And that is the beautiful thing. That's what, has given me so much hope. I look back at my life and how I grew up, and, I was told to do the go down the normal path of education, good job, all those sorts of things. And I started to study these people because, however, someone gave me a book, and it was actually Rich Dad Poor Dad. And it just opened my mind up to, wow, you don't have to go down. There is another path. Wow, these people that drive these beautiful cars, that's not just reserved for, the rich and famous. Like, people like me can achieve these things. And then once you start to study it, you really do see the patterns. And one of the most fundamental, like I just mentioned, is exactly that. If you study the greats, if you study the successful people, and not even at the top level, even at the 7-figure businesses, the 8-figure businesses, the 9-figure businesses, it really doesn't matter. They are all doing a fundamental thing, which is they are doing the uncomfortable tasks. Whether it's first or second, it's irrelevant. They are getting them done. But my suggestion to anyone that is not doing this, that is not actively solving those hard problems, the things that are uncomfortable, the things that we're avoiding, is the habit that you need to create is you need to write it down. You need to put it at the top of your page or your notes or however it is that you set your tasks for the day. And you need to do that thing first. Because if you do, again, I guarantee it right here that it will move your business forward. You are not a special anomaly that this doesn't include. This is everyone. And at the end of the day, your business growth is dependent on this. It's dependent on the things like the selling. A lot of people avoid selling. Now, if your business is stuck, if your revenue is stuck, there's a good chance that's what you're avoiding. If you're not getting any momentum in your business, the chances are that you're avoiding the new actions, the new steps that you need to take within your business, that new marketing campaign, that new hire, that new fire. Like, who's the person that you need to fire in your business that you're avoiding that is not performing? You know, who is that person? You know exactly who that person is. You know exactly that person, and you know exactly that you're avoiding that. If you've got a stagnant team, what tough conversations are you avoiding? What conversation do you know that you need to have that you are avoiding? I love asking these questions because I know our viewers are going, that's me. What about no visibility within your company, no branding, no marketing? What are you doing about that? Is it because you're not confident with marketing? You're not confident with social media? Social media scares you. The camera scares you. You're scared of being judged. All of that pain is holding your business back because that's the discomfort and that's where the opportunity lies. So if you want to move your business forward, and I'm assuming you do, that's why you're watching this podcast, you must go after the uncomfortable. So I ask you right now, what is that one thing that let's start with that. What is that one thing that you are avoiding? And what is that one thing that you are going to set for the first thing that you do tomorrow?
Huge. All right, now I'm going to come at you at a totally different angle right now, and it's really going to, shine the light on the other side of things. So when you're in startup, you're a new entrepreneur, everything is pretty uncomfortable, to be honest. Like everything's a problem. If you got no money, you're constantly in discomfort there, and you really have to hustle. But I really want to call out, because we work with people, ideally who make $100,000 all the way up to $1 million. Now, what I see as well, which is very common, is someone who is making $500,000 a year. These people think that they know everything, and they get comfortable because they're making $500,000 a year. I've seen people $750,000 a year, and they get comfortable. And this is the problem: is their level of success. Now they start to take the foot off the gas a little bit, and they get comfortable, and they stop growing. Now, this is the true problem with comfort. Comfort lowers your standards. So if you're at that point where you've now just been doing the same thing, the same operation, right? You've been getting the same result. If you've been there for 2 or 3 or 4 years, this is a problem. You are not growing anymore. Like, life is inflating quicker than your growth. So comfort is lowering your standards. It's removing your urgency. See, comfort truly is a killer. It's killing your hunger. Comfort is weakening your identity. You then just get locked into who you are instead of the identity that got you there, which is someone who's always forward thinking and thinking about how we're going to grow, how we're going to change, how we're going to innovate. If you haven't innovated, if you haven't reiterated your product, if you haven't even produced a new product in the last few years, man, you are getting comfortable. And if you are getting comfortable, you are declining much faster than you think you are, because everything compounds. You just want to be compounding in the right direction, right? It's stealing opportunities, and it's just making you repeat over and over. Comfort is actually the sign that your business is dying. This is a huge problem. And again, I've seen it firsthand. I've worked with these people, is they think they got everything sorted, but they're know-it-alls. They are so, they are just operating at the level of their current knowledge, which means you're comfortable. Again, I mentioned it before. If you're not getting confused, if you're not frustrated, if you're not constantly learning, that means you're not growing. So these are the signs there. So, you got to ask yourself right now, and this is like, this is your ego, because sometimes you've produced the business, it's making some good money on the rest of it, but you deep down, you know it in your gut. You actually know your numbers as well. You know if things aren't moving forward or they've slowed down or you've overexpended. And like Scott was saying, now you're just avoiding all the things because you did all the uncomfortable things at the start, and now you think you don't need to anymore. Like you've done all that. It's like, unfortunately, this never ends. And it's like anything, discomfort should be a habit that you train every single day. You should never, remove the habit of getting uncomfortable. And if you do, then you need to put yourself into more challenging environments all the time. It's like working out. Again, I've coached people 18 years in the health and fitness space with amazing results. And even now, like when we train, it's about how do we just keep getting a little bit more uncomfortable every day. It's about making progress. If you're not making progress, the only other direction it's going is you're going backwards, you're dying. So really start to reflect. Are you comfortable? And if you are, this is a huge problem that you have to solve.
Yeah, amen. Absolutely. If you are not uncomfortable, you're not moving forward. It's as simple as that. Grant Cardone actually is big on this, and I love his whole philosophy behind it, which is so simple, and that's the beauty. It's just 10x. If you are comfortable right now, look at your goals and 10x them, because to make whatever it is that if you're making 500 to go to 700 or 1 million, probably isn't that complicated or challenging. But to go from 500 to 5 mil, there's going to be some serious growth that's required, and it is going to get you uncomfortable. The conversations, the investments, the coaches you might need, the skills, the team that you might have to hire, the masterminds that you might need to get into, the relationships that maybe need to build, the places you might need to go to do that is going to get you uncomfortable. So Grant Cardone has the best formula is just look at your current goals and 10x them. So my advice to you, if you are comfortable right now, if you are, and again, I've been there, and I was actually there not too long ago, and I even said to Damien, I said, buddy, the biggest problem I have right now is I'm comfortable. And this has got to change really fast, because this is not where I want to be. I know when I'm comfortable that I'm actually not staying the same. I'm very slowly sliding backwards. It's that old, frog in boiling water thing where it's so small and so incremental that you don't even notice that you're making a little bit less money, or you're putting on a little bit extra weight, or whatever it may be, or your team is getting a little bit more unmotivated, or they're starting to look for or think about other opportunities outside of your company, or whatever it may be. It's very, very small. It's death of 1,000 cuts. And the only thing that will keep you in the game over the long term is being uncomfortable. Why? Because A, that's where the growth is, but B, that's where the action is. The action will lead to growth. When we're uncomfortable, when our back's against the wall, we know that we will do more than we will if if things are just on easy street, they're just in cruise mode. But when that pressure is on, the ATO or the IRS is after you, or whatever it may be, you are much more proactive in the things that you do. So again, what is the solution to comfort? It's to massively raise the standard, or Grant Cardone style is 10x those goals. If your goal next year, 2025 almost up, did you hit your goals? If you didn't, great opportunity for next year is to now 10x those goals, because if you do, you will look at them and you should be uncomfortable. And even Grant Cardone says it. He says, I haven't even hit any of my goals. I 10x all of them and I never even hit them. It's not the point, because it's that old saying which is, aim for the stars and land on the moon, right? Because at least if you're stretching that far, you're probably, if your goal was to go from 500,000 to 1 million, but you 10x it to 5 million, maybe you hit 2.7, but it's 2.5 times the original goal, even though you didn't hit the 5. And that's the psychology behind it. And it's also going to stretch you in terms of your thinking, in terms of the relationships that you got to create, the investments, the opportunities, the products, the marketing team, the ad spend, the budget there. Like, if you're spending a comfortable amount on your ads right now, that's costing you money. You need to up your game on that, because yes, it's going to, it could be uncertain as to whether you're going to do something, But the worst case scenario is that it makes you uncomfortable. And that is going to then drive more and more and more action. And again, if you are not uncomfortable, are you really growing? Are you really pushing yourself? Are you really getting the most out of yourself? And as a business owner, what are you here to do? Are you here to get comfortable and stay the same and slowly slip back? Or are you here to push new heights and achieve things that you never thought was even possible? And that's the beauty of the game of business. It doesn't matter how old you are or where you come from or where you started. The ceiling is unlimited. The opportunities are limitless, but it all comes down to your relationship with discomfort.
Massively. Now, because a lot of us can testify that, yes, I do get uncomfortable. Discomfort is in my life. Now, what is another problem that surrounds that is when you are constantly going into a hard workout, going into war, going into battle, you have to make sure the rest of your life can support that version of you, that can support you going in to do hard, uncomfortable things every day. If you're leaning into hard, uncomfortable things, but your nutrition is rubbish and you're eating bad food and you're out of shape, it's going to reduce your ability to do hard things. So that's why you can't do them, or you avoid them, because physically you can't even handle it. So that's why like great health, great physical, being in great physical shape has a direct, knock-on effect to your ability to do business really well. That's why the top business owners, not all of them, but the top people are all in great shape. And then the question is, the ones who are successful and are out of shape, imagine if they were in shape, they would be even more successful, because the return, you have more energy, you have better decision making. So this is the thing that we really need to understand too, is by now you should totally understand it. Comfort is bad, lean into discomfort, but also does your life, do your habits, do your belief system, is your mindset letting you down? Because you lean into it, but then you just can't handle it. It becomes too much, too overwhelming. It bleeds off into other areas of your life. And then that's why you avoid it, because you're like, I don't actually know how to sustain being in discomfort. It's like training, I go back again to training. It's like when I am, training for a competition, I got to see my chiro more often. I got to eat better food. I got to go to bed earlier. I got to support the training load. So depending on where you are in your business, are you in a massive growth phase? Are you just wanting to, just continue to make that growth? You got to look to all of your habits and disciplines around that as well to support it. Because again, we know now very clearly that you got to get uncomfortable. Discipline is just part of the game, and we love it. Like we talk about it all the time. Like the goal is not to just, sit and lay around the beach and do nothing with our lives. The goal is to do something meaningful, grow businesses that have major impact. And that's always going to come with challenges and problems to solve. And you always have to, be in discomfort to that degree. But you got to also create the life around that allows you to do it. So that's, Founder Fit. We work again with high level entrepreneurs and people who want to break through. And that's why we have our 28-day performance program, where not only do we instill these habits, but we create the framework and all the habits that you need to support, the ideas of like discomfort. And that again will allow you to go on to run a very successful business.
Yeah. And not only that, guys, we will make you uncomfortable.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
And that's by design, right? We want to push you out of your comfort zone. We want you to do the things, highlight the things that create discomfort. We want to get you in uncomfortable situations, because we know if you go through them, if you do the work within it, you will break through, you will go to the next level. I've experienced it. I've helped people do it. I've studied it. It's extremely obvious that these are the answers to what it is that you're searching for in life. Again, at the end of the day, life is not about money. Life is about growth and contribution and and fulfilling your soul, having that peace that you can wake up every day in a peaceful, fulfilled manner. You don't get that from social media and Netflix and fast food. You get it from doing the hard things and knowing within yourself that you can do those things and you can achieve goals and you can do it with confidence and you know who you are. So I'll leave you with this last thing, and I've already said it, but you know it. It's the comfort will kill you. The comfort will kill your business. Whether it's today, next year, or 10 years, you will become a statistic if you do not face that discomfort. So my advice to you, if this is you, then book a call. Click the link, book a call, and we can go through if you need the support to break through or to face that discomfort. Because again, I don't expect you to just watch this and you just want to then go out and just break through walls. There is work to do to build that mindset, but ultimately it is the mindset that you need to build, and that's what we do here at Founder Fit.
Amen. And doing that, that could change everything. That could double your revenue. That could double your productivity. That could bring you peace. There's so much that that can have a positive effect on you. So booking a call, would love to chat. Other than that, thank you so much for joining us in today's episode, and we'll see you on the next one.